not everybody, and this is something that I've learned the hard way, and I've learned it through a lot of experience, a lot of trial and error. Not everybody is born to be a leader. Having said that, it can be inculcated, but I know for a fact a lot of people are extremely happy taking the backseat and not actually taking up leadership positions.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our special conversation episode. Today, we'll be joined by renowned and very talented Maansi Agrawal, a transformational speaker, an international corporate trainer, and a communication coach. A firm believer in the impact of words and their capacity to transform life, Maansi has conducted incredible talks on topics like self love, self motivation, entrepreneurship, goal setting, and public orating. With diverse clients like Red Cross International, International Monetary Exchange, Economic Policy Research Institute, South Africa American Embassy, WWF Nepal, Sunrise Bank, employees of Facebook, Deloitte, and the Armed Forces. Welcome, Maansi.
Thank you so much, Evie. I'm so glad to be here. And it really gives me a lot of pleasure that I'm connecting with such young people and such wonderfully talented people from all over India. I'm just so grateful I'm here.
Maansi is accompanied by four millennial entrepreneurs. We have Saurabh Lall. Saurabh is the founder of Content Culture, an idea-driven content marketing design studio. He's also the CEO of Model Gaon. Welcome, Saurabh.
Thank you, Shavi. Thank you for having me here.
Mahajan. Harsh, the director and digital guru at Kyde Digital Private Limited. Harsh launched India's first ever sports and fitness private label under the name Prokyde, and he actively consults various D2C brands on branding and digital marketing frontiers. Welcome, Harsh.
Thanks, Shelby. Thanks for having me here.
We also have with us Avinash Sharma. Avinash, the co-founder of Shararat, an e-commerce fashion brand for eccentric and relaxed loungewear. Welcome, Avinash.
Thank you, Shelby.
And finally, we have with us Komal Doshi, a corporate finance advisor turned entrepreneur come educationist, grooming kids of small cities in the western region under the name Little Star Phonics through phonetics and spoken English. Welcome, Komal.
Thank you, Shelby. Thanks a lot.
Today, Maansi will be answering some burning entrepreneurial questions from our panelists and help them navigate their entrepreneurial journey. Welcome all.
Like a lot of women, especially go under pressure and, they to achieve their goals, and they sometimes forget about their self. They are always towards achieving. I need this, I need that, I need that. So sometimes they lose their self in a hole. So as a life coach trainer, what would you suggest as a woman?
Great question, really. And I get asked this very often. And here's what I always believe, okay? For me personally, now I'm going to give you my personal perspective, and then we can always sort of use that as a framework and think about what makes sense to us. For me personally, when I realized that this work life balance business was not happening, I became extremely conscious about one thing. I'm not going to think about managing my time because that's not going to work. I'm going to think about managing my focus. What happens very often is we're looking at managing our hours and minutes and things like that, yet we are giving all those hours and minutes and seconds to things that don't really matter and contribute in the long run. I truly believe that one of the most important things that you can sit down and do is ask yourself truly what your priorities are. For a very long time, I was just running around taking up projects, doing things, and a lot of that did not make sense to me. You know what I mean, right? Like a lot of it in hindsight was absolutely meaningless. Right now, as I speak to you very honestly, I am in a soup exactly like that. I'm doing a project which has taken 6 months of my life, is giving me absolutely no returns, and has frustrated me so much. Again, this is just another step of learning that I myself am going through. Now, here's the point. Very often, we get absolutely unsure about our priorities, because of which we don't really know what we want to do, and we're taking up things here and there. I think that pause and that slowing down is very important. Go off by yourself, go off into a resort or something like that. Go stay somewhere, take a break, go to somebody else's house, get a fresh perspective, pause and understand what's important for you. Understand then how you're going to prioritize. A lot of people think I'm a workaholic. And a lot of people think I must be really, really stressed. Here's the point. I'm not stressed. I love this. Trust me. Give me an option of going for a party, going and chilling with my friends, or working for 3 more hours and creating some content for my social media. promise you I will enjoy this more. It's not just about sort of doing it because I have to, but enjoying this more. But that's just who I am as a person. It's very important for us to be able to understand a certain amount of ratio, a certain amount of what works for me, what is important for me, and then to be able to focus on that. I started saying no to a lot of social things. I started saying no to a lot of, events that I was invited for, a lot of things that just did not rock my boat anymore. Also, I believe that work life balance after a certain point is not possible. You're never going to have the perfect balance that you aim for. It's always going to be like an extreme thing. So for me personally, I have, let's say, 2 weeks where I'm just working. I'm only continuously thinking about that. And then there is a certain sense of mom guilt that happens, and a certain sense of, oh my God, I'm not spending time with my child. Oh my God, I'm the worst human being. Oh my God, what if he hates me? Oh my God, what if he grows up and he doesn't like me, and things like that. And then I go and I give a lot of time, like a huge block of time to my son. Earlier, I thought this was the wrong way of doing it. Yet now I realize it works for us because when I have that blocked time for him, that is his time, like 100%. I won't have my phone with me. I won't know what I'm doing. And whether it is just lying down in bed and reading books for 3 days straight or whatever it is, I managed to do that. So I sort of feel I oscillate a bit. I used to think this wasn't right, but I figured out that this does work for me. There are days when I'm extremely focused on work because I think focus is very important as well. So when I'm focused on work, I'm 100% there, thinking about it, not trying to navigate and sort of oscillate within that day. Those days are dedicated to work. Of course, I have my child, I see him, yet when I'm with him, I'm 100% with him. And I think this is sort of the way that I've managed to navigate by understanding my priorities and by also looking at managing focus rather than managing time, because that somehow doesn't happen at all.
Wonderful. Thanks for that.
Maansi, so we are an entrepreneur. So me and my wife have started off our venture together. So I represent that community. So I want to understand that how to draw the distinction between where the personal life start and where does the professional life, because everything gets mixed up at times. So any tips on that? How to draw that distinct line between both lives?
This is a great question. And honestly, I don't have a great answer. I'll tell you why. Because my husband is an entrepreneur. I'm not. I'm a trainer. I'm a communications coach primarily, right? And when I came into Nepal 16 years ago, within a month or so of trying to work with him, I realized that if we're going to work together, it's either going to end up in suicide, murder, or divorce. And none of these seemed like a good enough option for me, which is why I decided to navigate away from that path. Having said that, Avinash, congratulations and a lot of power to you for actually taking up this step and taking up this journey together. I think what might work, and the only thing that sort of would make sense in a scenario like yours, is if both of you are very conscious about the work-life balance. If both of you are sort of absolutely prioritizing it, I always like to suggest a few practical things that you can do. Block of time. We do not even, when you say, oh, let's go for dinner this week, it might get done, it might not get done. Chances are it won't get done. I promise you that, right? Let's go for dinner this week. Again, might not. Hey, Tuesday, 7 o'clock, I've made an appointment. I've made like a reservation at this particular restaurant we're going, and it's going to get done. When I talk about blocking of time, I talk about making that particular hour or those 2 hours or 3 hours as vivid as possible in your head. By blocking of time, I do not mean, acha, let's do dinner. That's not blocking time at all. By blocking of time, when, where, why, who, how, everything. Get as many details as possible. The more details you have about the blocked off time that you have, whether it's with your child, whether it's with your wife to enjoy or whatever it is, the more details, the more vivid it is in your head, the more the chances of you actually following through with that will be. So let's say I'm going to say, okay, on Friday at 7:30, we're going to have dinner at this place. The moment I have that in my head, at least, and the moment we decide that, the chances of us actually following through are much higher because that's there. We've sort of sent that thought out there and we are sort of unconsciously planning backwards that way. So I think that you should block off that kind of time. That would help. Of course, this is also a lot about boundaries, You don't want to be talking about, oh my God, did this consignment go? Did that happen? Like when you're lying down and relaxing on a vacation. So I think that kind of boundary and that kind of limitation is something I haven't mastered in my life. I would be lying if I said that I was good at this, and I'm the wrong person to be suggesting anything to couples that are entrepreneurs, because I myself would have failed in this journey and I didn't take it up for that same reason. And that's why I'm here. Otherwise, I would possibly be an entrepreneur myself, working with my husband and hating him every moment of it. What also really helps is um, the kind of healthy respect. I mean, jokes apart, your wife and you, I've seen a lot of couples that work together. And I also find that one of them is sort of the dominant player and the other one is the head clerk. There's a difference, right? So there's a lot of women that are like, oh, I'm going to the office, my husband's office. Even if they're gone for 7 months, no one's going to notice, no one's going to give a damn. The moment that kind of an equation happens, the other partner, let's say your wife in this case, possibly, is not contributing. It's like disguised unemployment. The moment that happens, the respect in this equation reduces, and that's when the entire thing can fall apart. What I see is that couples who manage to navigate this path successfully are couples who've got clear cut boundaries and distinctions about, okay, Avinash, you're handling the marketing, I'm handling the manufacturing, or whatever it is, right? There has to be this sort of division of labor that's very well laid out. And because otherwise there's no sense of respect, and there's always people infringing on each other's spaces. And the moment that happens, one partner sort of becomes less effective, efficient, or less dominant, right? And the other one takes over. I have this friend, and she believed she was working very well until she decided that she would not be going to her husband's office for a few months. Not even one person called her up, ma'am, what do we do? Ma'am, we're stuck in trouble, we're doing this. And then she realized, oh my God, I was a piece of furniture there. She was not really contributing enough, which is why she never got that sense of respect and that sense of whatever value from what she was doing. And that's because both of them were doing the same tasks. You have to have a clear cut distinction between who's going to do what. And that really helps to also foster that respect, which takes this entire relationship to the next level and in the long run.
Thanks, Maansi. Thanks for that wonderful day.
Thank you all for joining us today. Saurabh, Harsh, Avinash, Komal, and Maansi. It was such an insightful talk, and we hope it will help our audience out there too.